Good evening, basketball fans. Welcome to Memorial Hall, the beautiful campus of North Georgia College and State University in Dahlonega, Georgia, in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Rusty Brown courtside with you. North Georgia basketball presented to you tonight by Campus Connection, your university bookstore, owned and operated by the university. They offer a full selection of collegiate gear, including brands like Under Armour and Russell Athletic, your university bookstore, where you'll find friendly service and your official source for North Georgia merchandise. Tonight we got a good one. North Georgia 14-11, 9-6 in PBC play, taking on the Lakers of Clayton State. They're 14-11 and 7-8 in PBC play. Taking a look at the Saints on the road, they went 1-1 in the two-game road trip to Georgia Southwestern and UNC Pembroke. 78-69 win at UNCP the last time we saw the Saints out. They got on top early with a 14-3 run, and they kept the gas pedal down. The Saints led by 11 at the break and were up by as many as 15 three different times in the ball game before getting the 9-point victory. North Georgia had 4 players in double figures. Bernard Rimmer had 22. Carl Taylor added 18. He had 4 threes on the evening. Tyler Norman, who was running point, he had 5 assists and 15 points. And Andrew Bennett, the big lad from across the pond, added 12 points inside the paint. The Saints shot 45% from the field, 37% from the three-point line, and 81% in 21 trips to the foul line. North Georgia second in the conference in the rebounding margin at plus 6.4. Keldrick Coleman continues to hold the second conference spot in steals with 52 this season. Bernard Rimmer with 7.2, Kendall Butler with 6.8, and Andrew Bennett with 6.0 up here in the conference top 20 in rebounding. The Saints are also second in the conference in block shots, averaging 4.67 a game, led by the big lad with 1.95 a game, and Bernard Rimmer with 1.57. Taking a look at the season stats for the Saints, again, they are 14-11, 9-6 overall in Peach Belt Conference play. They're shooting 44% from the field, 34% from behind the arc, and 69% from the free throw line. And here the past couple of weeks, the Saints have tried to find momentum from different areas up and down the roster with the loss of senior point guard Michael Moynihan. And it's been Tyler Norman, the sophomore out of Cleveland, who stepped up and did a good job of running the point here for the Saints ball club, as Norman has come on and done a fantastic job filling in for Michael Moynihan. Bernard Rimmer, he's averaging 12.3 points a game, 7.1 rebounds a contest. Carl Taylor, he's averaging 11.6. He's averaging also over 2 3-pointers per game. Andrew Bennett averaging over 10 points a game and 8 rebounds. Keldrick Coleman, 6.4 points. Pat Moynihan, brother of injured senior Michael Moynihan, is averaging 6. And Kendall Butler, the garbage man, averaging 5.7 and 6.8. At home, the Saints are 8-4 here at Memorial Hall. On the road, 6-6. Last time we saw them against Clayton State, it was back in late January. A 72-66 win for the Saints. They are 12-3 all time against the Lakers of Clayton State. We're going to take a short break here in the North Georgia Saints tip-off show. When we come back from Memorial Hall, we'll have a look at this Clayton State team. They're 14-11, 7-8 overall. We'll give you tonight's matchups, the keys to the game, our starting lineups, and we'll also take a look around the Peach Belt Conference standings, and we'll give you a preview of what we may see in the Peach Belt Conference tournament coming up in just 1 week's time. Stick around with us. You're listening to North Georgia Saints basketball on the North Georgia Saints Broadcast Network and Saintsports.com. You're listening to North Georgia basketball presented by Campus Connection, your university bookstore. Welcome back to Memorial Hall, everybody. Rusty Brown glad to be alongside with you. It's the North Georgia Saints Tip-Off Show brought to you by Campus Connection, your university bookstore. Let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's opponents. North Georgia College State University, the Saints 14-11, 9-6 in PBC play. They will be dancing going to the Peach Belt Conference Tournament. As it looks like Clayton State also will be sneaking in as a 4 seed in the West Division if they can find a way to get a couple of wins here in the backstretch of the season. They are 14-11, the Lakers 7-8 in PBC action. Speaking of Clayton State, their head coach is Gordon Gibbons. He's 169-97 all-time with the Lakers. Clayton State is second in the conference in free throw percentage, 74.1%. Robert Murray, he's fourth in the conference in scoring. He's averaging just shy of 16 points per game. Clayton State has only won 3 of their 9 road games this season. Armand Jones leads the team in a 6th in the conference in rebounding with 7.4 boards a contest. Let's go ahead and have our head-to-head matchup, shall we? Taking a look at the points, North Georgia and CSU just about locked up here in this category. North Georgia averaging just over 73 points a game, 73.2 to be exact, while the Lakers are averaging 73.8 points a game offensively. Edge going there to the Lakers. Scoring defense, North Georgia allowing opponents to put 72 on the board, while CSU allowing just 67. Edge going to the Lakers. Scoring margin, North Georgia +1, CSU +6.6. Again, Edge going there to the Lakers. Field goal percentage, North Georgia 44% from the floor. Edge going to North Georgia. CSU's just shooting 43% from the field. 3-point field goal percentage, North Georgia 34.2, CSU 33.6. Another slight edge there going to the Saints. Free throw percentage, North Georgia 68.6, while CSU has been solid at the charity stripe, 74%. It has them in the top of the conference. Edge there going at the free throw line to CSU. Rebound margin, this one could be a big factor tonight. North Georgia +6.3, CSU +2.8. So North Georgia, one of the better teams in the conference in rebounding. They are second in rebounding margin from that point, 6.4 rebounding margin edge. Turnovers per game, North Georgia 16, 12 for CSU. North Georgia going to have to limit the turnovers tonight without Michael Moynihan. Turnover margin, North Georgia -0.7, CSU +2.8. So an edge then in the turnover department going to the Lakers. Steals per game, North Georgia over 7, CSU over 7 as well. Blocks per game, North Georgia with 4.7, Lakers with 3.4. Go ahead and take a look at the Peach Belt Conference. So Peach Belt Cobbler, Peach Belt Conference standings through yesterday. Georgia College and State on top over in the West. They are 20-4 overall. 13-2 are the Bobcats down in Milledgeville. They're having a hot season. They look to be the number 1 overall seed in the West heading in to next week's PBC Conference Tournament. Montevallo, they would be the number 2 overall seed if the tournament started today. They are 20-5, 10-5 in PBC play. Our Saints, they're 14-11 overall, 9-6 in Peach Belt Conference play. They would be the 3 seed if the tournament started today. And Clayton State would be the 4 seed. The team we're seeing tonight, 14-11, 7-8 overall. Columbus State and Georgia Southwestern both have been eliminated from contention in the postseason. So it will be GCSU, Montevallo, North Georgia, and Clayton State. North Georgia with a chance, though, to slide into the number 2 overall seed, and they can host the first round of the playoffs if they can get a pair of wins here this week and hopefully a Montevallo loss. They are playing at GCSU tonight. Over in the East, Augusta State, surprise, surprise, they are 24-2, 16-1 overall. They will likely be the favorite heading into the conference tournament. Francis Marion not far behind them. They're 18-7, 10-6. USC Aiken 15-9, 10-7. And then it's a log jam for that final spot in the PBC tournament in the 4th seed. Lander, Armstrong, Atlantic, and Flagler all with 5 and 11 marks in the conference play. Lander 11-14 overall. Armstrong and Flagler 10 and 15. UNC Pembroke, they are eliminated from conference play. They are 4 and 12 in the PBC and 8 and 17 overall. And again, the way the Peach Belt Conference tournament works, it will be 3 rounds. 4 teams from each division will move on. 6 teams are in the West. There's 7 in the East. So that means that there will be a couple of teams left on the outs looking in. And right now, it looks like it's going to be Georgia College and State and Montevallo hosting North Georgia and Clayton State. While over in the East, it looks like Augusta State and Francis Marion will be hosts, with USC Aiken and Lander visiting. And then the final 2 rounds will be on Saturday and Sunday of next weekend for the semifinals and final championship game of the Peach Belt Conference Tournament. We're going to take another short break here in the North Georgia Saints Broadcast Network. When we come back, keys to the game, some season stats, and we'll also tell you what North Georgia has to do to go to win tonight here at home against the Lakers of Clayton State. You're listening to North Georgia Basketball, brought to you by Campus Connection, your university bookstore on the North Georgia Saints Broadcast Network and Saintsports.com. Wrapping things up here in the North Georgia Saints tip-off show, getting close now. North Georgia and Clayton State ready to do work here in just a few minutes. Starting lineups coming your way in just moments' time. Time now for our keys to the game tonight for North Georgia. It's going to have to be work the glass on both ends like you have been all year and staying away from those turnovers. North Georgia averaging over 16 turnovers a game, but that rebounding margin plus 6.3. So North Georgia has a chance to do some damage off the glass here tonight. For CSU, the key is going to be shut down the inside play of Bernard Rimmer and Andrew Bennett and force these young guards to win the game. North Georgia without their senior guard, Michael Moynihan, who is done for the season. It's North Georgia Saints basketball, and it comes your way in just a few minutes. Presented by Campus Connection, your university bookstore, owned and operated by the university. They offer a full selection of collegiate gear, including brands like Under Armour and Russell Athletic. Your university bookstore, where you'll find friendly service and your official North Georgia source for merchandise. Bring your game day program to Campus Connection and receive 25% off in GCSU clothing, including items on sale. Time now for tonight's starting lineup for Clayton State. Number 5, Brandon Robinson. He's a 6'6 junior out of Lake Wales, Florida. Number 21, Robert Murray. He's one of their leading scorers, a senior, 6-footer out of Decatur, Georgia, down the road outside Atlanta. Timothy Downs, number 24. He is a 5'7 junior out of Greenville, South Carolina. Jaquiz Dobbs, he's number 30, a senior, 6'7 out of Conyers. And number 44, Armand Jones. He is a junior, 6'8 out of Atlanta. Head coach is Gordon Gibbons. And all-time at Clayton State, Gibbons with a 169 and 97 mark. Time now for your starting lineups for your North Georgia Saints. Tonight's starters is garbage man number 2, Kendall Butler, 6'4 senior, averaging 5.7 points a game to go along with 6.8 rebounds. He also has 18 steals on the season. Number 10, Tyler Norman, he'll be running the point. He's a sophomore out of Cleveland, Georgia, 6-footer, averaging over 4 points a game. Carl Taylor, the deadly three-point shooter, will be the guard. Number 14 is the junior, 11.6 points a game. He's also 84% from the free throw line. Number 33, Bernard Rimmer, 6'8 senior forward, 12.3 points a game, 7 rebounds, leading the team in rebounding. And Andrew Bennett, number 40, the big lad from across the pond in Coventry, England, averaging 10.8 points a game and 6 rebounds. He also has 47 blocks on the 2010 season. Clayton State coming out wearing their road blues with white numerals trimmed in orange. The Saints of North Georgia wearing their alternate grays, blue numerals trimmed in white. North Georgia, they'll be going to the dance. The Peach Belt Conference Tournament coming up next week. The Saints will be invited. One of the 4 teams from the West that will be moving on. North Georgia either a 3 or possibly a 2 seed in which they will play host in the first round. For Clayton State, it'll be Armand Jones out for the tip with Bernard Rimmer, both 6'8". North Georgia Saints basketball presented to you tonight by Campus Connection, your university bookstore. Rusty Brown along with you, and we are underway. Tyler Norman start things out here for the Saints. Butler gives it back to Norman. Over to Bernard Rimmer. Rimmer looking to go inside to Bennett. Bennett cross court. Carl Taylor in the corner for 3. No good. Rebound Bernard Rimmer. The transfer from Mississippi State inside the perimeter. No good. Put back. The tip falls for Andrew Bennett. And the Saints are off and running 2-0. North Georgia, 14-11, 9-6 in conference play. Three-pointer off the mark. No good. Rebound goes to Bennett. A three-pointer from Jaquiz Dobbs. The Lakers of Clayton State, they're 14-11 and 7-8 in PBC play. Butler goes inside to Bennett. Bennett with a left-hander, baby hook. Falls for Andrew Bennett. He's got 4 points and a rebound, and the Saints are on top by 2 buckets. Drive inside the lane and a kiss off the glass. Nice move from the 5'7 junior Timothy Downs. Tyler Norman sporting a new haircut here tonight. One with a buzz is Tyler. Tyler all the way to the basket. And the new haircut making him aerodynamic. Norman is good, and Kendall Butler going to swat away the inlet pass intended for Brandon Robinson. Last touch by the Saints. Glad you are with us here this evening for Peach Belt Conference basketball on peachbelt.com and saintsports.com, as well as the North Georgia Saints Broadcast Network. 6-2 is where we stand right now. North Georgia with a lead, and we are going to have a foul inside on Clayton State. The foul will be on Downs. His first, he hooked, trying to make the cut to the basket, and Downs will have a seat. And Eric Wilson, a senior out of Morrow, Georgia, checks in, a home product here for Clayton State. Saints on top by 4, 6-2. Lady Saints fell to Clayton State earlier here tonight, 71-63. Taylor gives it off to Norman. Norman to Butler. Kendall Butler with the drive, and with men on his back, he knocks it off the glass, and good. 8-2, Saints on top. And Clayton State wants a timeout, and their head coach is fired up about it. Gordon Gibbons is not happy with his bunch defensively. 8-2, North Georgia on top, 18-12 remaining in the first half. Rusty Brown with you. North Georgia basketball presented to you tonight by Campus Connection. They're owned and operated by the university here in Dahlonega. They offer a full selection of collegiate gear, including brands like Under Armour and Russell Athletic. your university bookstore, where you'll find friendly service and your official source for North Georgia merchandise. Bring your game day program to Campus Collection and receive 25% off NGCSU clothing, including items on sale. Pair of buckets for Andrew Bennett. 2 for Tyler Norman as well. It's 8-2, Saints on top. Wilson will bring it up for the Lakers. They'll give it off to Murray. They go inside. The kick back out and a three-pointer on the way. Rims off, no good. The putback falls. Robinson no good on the three, but Armand Jones inside cleaning it up. And Armand Jones, a 6'8 junior out of Atlanta, makes it a 4-point contest, 8-4. Tyler Norman for three. Tyler knocking it down to the man in his face. Tyler Norman directing traffic and said, you know what, I'm going to take it myself, and he does just that. A three-pointer for Tyler Norman, and the sophomore has 5. Three-pointer for Clayton State. They look to answer, no good. Loose ball picked up by the Lakers. And here comes North Georgia. Taylor will bring it up. Taylor, blue jersey's on him. He'll give it off to Norman. Norman over to the corner. Rimmer. The up fake. Rimmer wants to drive. Norman wants to set things up. Norman on the right side. Rimmer now from the baseline. Gives it off to Tyler. Tyler Norman again for three. Tyler Norman heating up. The sophomore has 8. 14-4. Tyler Norman off to a hot start. That's exactly what the doctor ordered here for the Saints. Without Michael Moynihan, Tyler Norman is getting better and better every single game. 14-4. Clayton State down about a 3. Drive into the basket, and we're going to have a foul. Brandon Robinson on the drive to the basket was fouled. Tyler Norman thought he might have picked up a charge. Instead, he picks up his first foul. And that'll send Brandon Robinson, a junior from Lake Wales, Florida, to the line to shoot a pair. First free throw is good. From Robinson. Robinson on the season from the free throw line, 63%. Just inside 17 minutes to go, opening half, 14-5. Saints on top by 9. Make that 8. Pair of subs come in for Coach Gibbons and Clayton State. It'll be Levante Rhines, a junior out of Athens. Backcourt pressure here from the Lakers. Norman will break it. 16.5 to go, opening period. Norman off the right side, gives it off to Butler. Taylor swings over to Bernard Rimmer. Bernard wants a 3, and Bernard is heating up from outside here in the past few weeks. Bernard Rimmer showing his versatility. 17-6, Saints are 3 of 4 from three-point land. Just inside the perimeter, bucket falls, 2-pointer for Eric Wilson. 17-8. These teams cooking offensively. North Georgia with momentum. And that road victory at UNC Pembroke, securing their spot in the tournament. Bernard, a little greedy maybe this time from the baseline. Three-pointer, no good. 17-8, inside 16 to go. Three-pointer for Clayton State. They trying to answer. They cannot. Bernard Rimmer with the rebound up ahead. And we're going to have a travel before the shot from Carl Taylor. Both these teams going to the perimeter here early. Pat Moynihan, the freshman, checks in for Carl Taylor. Pat, freshman, 6'4" out of Atlanta. Both these teams going downtown and going downtown early. 3 3-pointers for the Saints. Pair of attempts for Clayton State. And a look inside, Clayton State connects with Armand Jones, his 4th of the night. 17-10. Norman, Butler, Keldrick Coleman on the floor as well. Bernard Rimmer and Pat Moynihan on for head coach Chris Faulkner. Moynihan dish it outside to Butler. Butler over to Tyler Norman. Norman again for 3. Tyler Norman! Stormin' Norman with his 3rd three-pointer of the ball game. And Norman is in double digits already. 20-10, North Georgia. Inside the perimeter, two-pointer doesn't fall for Wilson. The rebound goes to Bernard. Norman over to Pat Moynihan. Neely throws it away. Rimmer, at 25 on the shot clock, and a 10-point lead will give it off to Butler. Kendall Butler wants to drive. Butler, tough shot. And a nice little double clutch there from Kendall Butler to get the blue jerseys off his back. And he connects. 22-10. Drive inside and a foul. Foul will be on Pat Moynihan, his first, team second. And we have a timeout on the floor. We'll take one with them. 14:25 left. Saints off and running here at home, 22-10. They're on top of the Lakers. You're listening to North Georgia Basketball presented by Campus Connection, your university bookstore. The Saints cooking here in their next to last regular season game of the year. 22-10, North Georgia on top. 11 points from Tyler Norman. 3 for 3 for downtown from Stormin Norman. He's on fire. 4 points for Andrew Bennett. 4 for Kendall Butler. 3 from Bernard Rimmer. Saints shooting 75% here early. 9 of 12 from the floor. 4 of 6 from downtown. Clayton State 4 of 10 from the field. 0 of 3 from the three-point line, and 2 of 2 from the charity stripe. Tonight's officials, Bill Damprano, Hasiba Briggs, and Matt DePiro. 2 free throws on the way here for Clayton State. They send number 24, Timothy Downs, to the line. Downs may look small on your TV screen or monitor. In fact, he is, by basketball standards, just 5'7". First free throw is good. Clayton State has cut it in half, 22-11. Second free throw from the lefty is good. And here comes Brandon Robinson back into the ball game. He's a junior, 6'6". Inside 14.5 minutes to go here in the opening half. Tyler Norman will bring things up for the Saints. Up by 10, 22-12. Saints very productive on the offensive end so far today. Andrew Bennett got things going for the Saints, and Tyler Norman has taken over from there. Butler trying to go inside, throws it away, intended for Keldrick Coleman. And Coleman, the 6'3" junior out of Gainesville, can't handle it. Between Keldrick Coleman and Kendall Butler, you're going to see some fantastic defense here tonight. These two will get inside the opposition's shorts, I'm telling you. Pat Moynihan plays some defense as well. He comes up with a steal. Pat, the freshman, to the basket with a nice move. He just went right around Levante Rhines for 2, 24-12. And right now, North Georgia cooking here at Memorial Hall. Inside. This is where Clayton State had success and poked away by Bernard Rimmer. Moynihan comes away with it. Saints with numbers. Rimmer will slow it back down. Tyler Norman thought about a three. He'll pull it back instead, giving it off to Kendall Butler. No good to put back. And a loose ball picked up by Robinson. Robinson will get things off to the little point guard, Timothy Downs. Downs inside the perimeter. Lefty is good. Downs with a solid stroke. Lead now back to 10, 24-14, and here comes the big line back into the game. 13 minutes to play opening half. Saints looking to bring John Knowlton back into the ball game for the first time here tonight. 20 on the shot clock. Pat Moynihan thought about a three. He'll drive instead. Moynihan with a left-hander, and the floater is good for Pat Moynihan. 26-14 Saints. North Georgia cooking offensively, and we're going to have a foul on Keldrick Coleman. Coleman with a reach inside. Coleman and Bernard Rimmer will have a seat. And here comes John Knowlton, Andrew Bennett, Carl Taylor back into the ball game. John Knowlton, number 32, 6'7" junior out of Warner Robins. Clayton State to inbound with a fresh shot clock. 12:40 remaining in the opening half. 26-14 Saints on top, thanks to a trio of three-pointers from Tyler Norman. Clayton State working the perimeter. Saints in the man-to-man. Little point guard with a drive to the lane. The shot is off the mark. Rebound goes to Pat Moynihan. Inside 12-20. Norman off the right side. Directing traffic. He'll give it off to the freshman. Back to Norman. He has another look for three. Tyler Norman, no good. He finally misses one from outside. 12 minutes to go. Clayton State will bring it up. Downs will give it off. Pat Moynihan with a rebound and a steal so far here on the defensive end. Rebound goes to Clayton State. Dobbs will give it off. Perimeter shot no good from Rhines. Ball last touched by the Saints. And here comes Chase Anderson into the ball game. Tyler Norman will have a seat. Big round of applause for the sophomore. Chase Anderson will be the point guard. Anderson, the freshman out of Lawrenceville, Georgia. I believe he's out of Milton Creek High School. 11:40 remaining. 26-14. Saints on top. Saints with 3 fouls. Clayton State with 1. Inside. Little baby hook just doesn't fall. Rebound, though, goes to Clayton State. And a block inside by John Knowlton. Mr. Knowlton, welcome to the ball game with a block inside on Robinson. And here's Chase Anderson setting things up. Right at the 11-minute mark. Moynihan inside to Bennett. Bennett double teamed immediately. Saints working back out. Dish to Taylor. Taylor gives it off to Pat Moynihan. Moynihan to Knowlton. Knowlton with a look. And John Knowlton, a block on the defensive end. He comes down and knocks down a two-pointer. And the lead is 14 for North Georgia. 28-14. Saints on top. Little drive inside. The kiss doesn't fall for Murray. Here comes the Saints. They are up tempo. Inside to Bennett. Bennett nearly lost it. The left-hander doesn't fall for the big lad. Saints really pressing the tempo here tonight. Downs with a drive right past Anderson. Lost the basketball. He'll kick it back out. Clayton State will set it up with 20. Little drive. Spot and a shot falls for Robert Murray, the senior out of Decatur. 28-16. Coach Chris Faulkner trying to slow things down for his bunch now. Anderson will bring it up. The 6'4" guard will give it off to Pat Moynihan. Pat, the freshman, over to Knowlton. Inside to Bennett. Bennett! He can't connect, gets his own rebound. He's blocked from behind, gets it again, and again has a block from the backside. Robert Murray up ahead with it now. He'll go coast to coast and off the glass. 28-18. Murray showing the wheels there for Clayton State, getting that rebound and not hesitating one iota. Bernard Rimmer set to check back in. Pat Moynihan, lefty, wants to drive. He'll be fouled. And here comes Bernard Rimmer, the Mississippi State transfer out of Grenada, Mississippi, senior 6'8", and a timeout taken on the floor. We'll take one with him. 9:35 left, 28-18. You're listening to North Georgia Saints basketball presented by Campus Connection on the North Georgia Saints Broadcast Network. .9:35 remaining first half. 28-18, Saints on top by 10, off and running here at Memorial Hall. trying to catch fire going into the conference tournament. The Saints led right now by Tyler Norman, 3 of 4 from downtown. He has 11. 4 points for Kendall Butler, Andrew Bennett, and Pat Moynihan. Saints out rebounding Clayton State. Actually, they're tied in the rebound category, 10-10. Saints 12 of 20 from the field, 4 of 7 from three-point land. Clayton State yet to connect. North Georgia basketball presented to you tonight by Campus Connection, your university bookstore. Saints get it in. Anderson with a quick two-pointer, no good. Rebound going to the blue jerseys. Clayton State will bring it up. Eric Wilson will give it off. 9:20 left, back to Wilson. Wilson over to Murray. Wilson will drive. He'll be tripped by Chase Anderson. Anderson trying to get over in front of the guard, and Wilson got tripped up. Be the team fourth, the first on Chase Anderson. Pat Moynihan, number 11. Carl Taylor, number 14. Anderson, number 21. Rimmer, number 33. And Andrew Bennett, number 40. In the ball game for Chris Faulkner. 9:05 left. Clayton State. A three-pointer off the mark. Rebound goes to the Saints. Bernard Rimmer kept it alive. Inside 9 to go. Anderson will bring it up. Over to Taylor. He's deadly from the outside. The kick back outside to swing. Moynihan wants the baseline. Nothing there. 15 on the shot clock. Rimmer over to Anderson. He goes inside to Bennett. Bennett with a nice spin move. He can't connect, though, on the double team. Here comes Clayton State up ahead. Driving all the way to the lane and off the glass, Robert Murray. Lead now just 8. And here comes Clayton State and the Lakers. Making a single-digit deficit. And Kendall Butler set to check back in for defensive purposes here for Coach Faulkner. Taylor with a nice little move inside. He'll jitterbug it back out, and he'll connect. 30-20. Saints on top by 10. Clayton State working the perimeter. North Georgia in a man-to-man. We'll have a foul inside. Foul will be on Carl Taylor. Foul on the shot will send Clayton State to the line. 21, Robert Murray, the senior from Decatur. Saints on top by 10. 30-20 is where we stand right now. 8:03 left, opening half. First free throw is good. Keldrick Coleman, Kendall Butler, and Tyler Norman all back into the ball game. Chase Anderson will have a seat, as will Pat Moynihan and Andrew Bennett. North Georgia Saints basketball brought to you tonight by Campus Connection, your university bookstore. Check them out. They've got brands like Under Armour and Russell Athletic. Campus Connection, your university bookstore, on campus here in Dahlonega. 30-22. Saints on top by 8. Carl Taylor will bring it up. Taylor over to Norman. Norman already has a trio of three-pointers. 23 on the shot clock. Bernard Rimmer for 3. Bernard off the mark, no good. Rebound goes to Keldrick Coleman. Coleman back up strong, and he's fouled. Coleman showing that strength inside. He is so tough off the glass. Coleman just listed at 6'3", but he plays like he's a 7-footer inside the paint. 7:44, the clock stops to send Coleman to the line. Coleman is good on the front end. Coleman showing the soft touch. On the ear. Keldrick from the free throw line, just 50%. He's 50% on the night, 1 for 2. 31-22, Saints on top by 9. Clayton State will set things up with their point guard, Timothy Downs. Three-pointer on the way. That one fired in there, no good. Coleman comes away with the board. Robert Murray put that one on a line. Bounces off the rim hard. Carl Taylor a long 3. Carl Taylor from the left side is good. Carl Taylor with a big three-pointer there, and the Saints go back on top by double digits, 34-22. Saints deadly from outside so far. Clayton State, not quite the numbers they want from the perimeter, but they get one right here from Downs. Cutting the lead back down to 9. For Clayton State, that is just the first three-pointer made. In about 8 attempts. 20 on the shot clock. Carl Taylor, another three with a man in his face. Robert Murray, all he can do is shake his head. He did everything he was supposed to do defensively, but Carl Taylor is that deadly from the perimeter. 37-25, the Saints are working that outside line. A little dish inside, and Jaquiz Dobbs connects, the senior from Conyers. Lead back down to 10. North Georgia on top, 37-27. They haven't trailed yet in tonight's ball game. They didn't trail at all at UNC Pembroke. Steal. Dobbs wants to take it the distance, and he'll be fouled from behind by Taylor. And Jaquiz Dobbs, the senior, will go to the line to shoot a pair. Pat Moynihan set to check in. Six minutes even on the clock. 37-27 Saints. Looking sharp so far from the field. Shooting 57.7%. That's a solid night shooting. Pat Moynihan in for Carl Taylor. He gets a round of applause. Taylor just knocked down a pair of three-pointers. Saints rolling early by 10. Second free throw, no good. Rebound goes to Coleman. Tyler Norman will bring things up here for Chris Faulkner's bunch. Moynihan off the left side. He'll give it off to Butler. Butler will swing it. Rimmer, baseline. Rimmer has a swatted away. Rimmer with a nice look inside. Just had it blocked from behind, no hard by Armand Jones, the 6'8 junior. Butler to inbound. He gets it into Rimmer. Rimmer has it taken away by Jones. Jones up ahead to the point guard. And off the glass and good is Timothy Downs. 37-29. Rimmer just couldn't handle that hot pass on the inbound. Saints like the catch and release strategy when throwing the ball in underneath their own basket. Didn't work that time. Rimmer will spot up from the left elbow. Bernard Rimmer with a nice touch here tonight. 39-29. 5:10 remaining. Downs wants a three. Just rimming around, no good. Rebound goes to Bernard Rimmer. Tyler Norman will slow it down. Head coach Chris Faulkner shouting out the orders. Inside 5 minutes to go opening half. 39-29 Saints. Kendall, he'll travel. Here comes a trio of Lakers into the ball game. It'll be number 4, 5, and 14. Jerron Dobbs, a freshman out of Conyers. Brandon Robinson back into the game. And Levante Rhines, a junior out of Athens. 4:47. 39-29. Clayton State traveling well here from just below the Atlanta area down to Morrow. Ten-point Saints lead. Wilson will bring it up. He'll swing it over to Justin Dobbs. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Wilson has it now. He'll pull up for two. A long two-footer with his foot on the line. No good. Rebound goes to Rimmer. Norman wants to push. Norman off the right side will bring it up. They'll give it off to Pat Moynihan, who thought about a three. Swings it over to Butler. Kendall inside. Triple teamed, has it swatted away. Clayton State will press. Wilson will bring it up. He'll give it off. Three-pointer. No good. Bernard Rimmer with the board. Timeout taken. Full timeout by Chris Faulkner. 4:03 left. The Saints are on top 39-29. 16 fouls here for the Saints. 3 on Clayton State. You're listening to North Georgia Saints basketball on the North Georgia Saints Broadcast Network and Saintsports.com. Brought to you by Campus Connection, your university bookstore. Saints by 10. 4 minutes left. 4 minutes, 3 seconds, all that remains here in the first half. Rusty Brown courtside with you at Memorial Hall. North Georgia on top 39-29. Clayton State, the Lakers 14-11, 7-8 in PBC play. North Georgia, same overall record, 14-11, 9-6. North Georgia 6-6 on the road. All their other wins coming here at Memorial Hall. 39-29, inside 4 minutes. Tyler Norman will bring things up here for the Saints. North Georgia basketball brought to you tonight by Campus Connection, your University store. Norman to Rimmer. Man-to-man pressure here from the Lakers. Pat Moynihan with space to lefty for three. No good. Reed Buck half checked into the ball game here for the Saints. Buck, number 21. I beg your pardon, Buck, number 24, 6'5" freshman. He is out of Collins Hill High School. 3:25 on the game clock, 25 on the shot clock. Saints by 10. They haven't trailed yet. Wilson wants to drive right side all the way to the basket. He's fouled. Andrew Bennett, I believe, will pick up the foul. No, the foul will be on Tyler Norman. That is a second on the sophomore. And here comes Chase Anderson. And Clayton State will go to the line. Eric Wilson, the 6'1" senior home product for Clayton State out of Morrow, will go to the line to shoot two. First free throw is good. Clayton State is in the bonus with 17 fouls on North Georgia. Wilson on the night has 4 total points. 2 subs come in here for Clayton State. Number 21, Robert Murray, and number 24, Timothy Downs, a 5'7" junior. Backcourt pressure here from the Lakers. Anderson gets it into Buck. Buck with room, goes right side. Nice dish to Bernard Rimmer. Buck hits the ground hard. Kick back out to Anderson. Anderson wants to drive back out to Moynihan. Moynihan will swing it back around to the top of the key. Moynihan over to Rimmer. Rimmer works the baseline. He'll drive, has it swatted away with 15 on the shot clock. Rimmer, little turnaround, doesn't fall. Rebound. Last touch by Bennett. Clayton State comes away with it. 2:40 left. Lead is just 8 for North Georgia. The Lakers making a late half run here in the first. 39-31. Lakers are in the bonus. Clayton State working the perimeter, driving, dish back outside. All the way to the basket, and we'll have 2 conflicting calls here. One of tonight's referees called for the charge, another one called with the block. The foul will be charged to Pat Moynihan, his second on the blocking foul. And that'll send Jerron Dobbs to the line, the freshman out of Conyers. Two minutes, 23 seconds left. The lead is just 7. Dobbs toes the line. The second is no good. Rebound goes to Bernard Rimmer, who nearly jumped out of Memorial Hall. 2:18 left in the first half. Lead is 7 here for the Saints. Chase Anderson working on the 5'7" guard. Rimmer trying to go inside to Bennett. Bennett now gets it. And the big lad with the big jam. 41-32. 2 subs come in here for Clayton State, number 14 and 44. That's Levante Rines, a junior from Athens, and Armand Jones, a junior from Atlanta. Andrew Bennett jamming that one home for his 6th point of the night. Tyler Norman leads the Saints with 11. 6 points for Bennett, 4 for Pat Moynihan. Drive inside and a foul on Chase Anderson. And head coach Chris Faulkner getting a bit perturbed here with tonight's officiating crew. As the 9th team foul on the Saints. Numbers so far through nearly 19 minutes of play here in the first half. North Georgia shooting 53% from the field, 50% from behind the arc, 50% from the line. Clayton State 37%, 11%, and 75% in those three categories. Front end of the one-on-one is good. Robert Murray out of Decatur. Inside $1:50 remaining here in the first half. Clayton State making a comeback, 41-33 Saints. That lead is down to 7. Chris Faulkner howling for a lane violation. And tonight's officials might have missed it. Officials are Bill DePrano, Hasiba Braggs, and Matt DePiro. Anderson on the inbound. Finally gets some help, gives it off to Pat Moynihan, back to Anderson. Anderson's got to get it across the timeline here, and he will be fouled. Robert Murray as the fourth on Clayton State. So North Georgia will inbound with a fresh shot clock. $1:42 remaining first half, 41-34. Wilson checks back in here for Clayton State. Pat Moynihan, Bernard Rimmer, Chase Anderson, Andrew Bennett, and Reed Buck in the ball game. Kendall Butler set a check back in, next dead ball for the Saints. Anderson wants to go inside to Bennett. He does. Bennett kicks it back out to Rimmer. Rimmer, nothing there. Good defense here from Clayton State. 15 on the shot clock. Spin from Moynihan. He'll dish it off to Buck. Buck down to 10 on the shot clock. Anderson sets it up. Anderson looking right side. Shot clock down to 5. Pat Moynihan creates some space. Then he knocks down a big three. A nice screen at the left elbow from Andrew Bennett. And Pat Moynihan collects another three-pointer, and the lead back up to 10, and a big shot there, working the clock. North Georgia connects on the three, inside a minute to play, first half. Three-pointer from Clayton State. Doesn't fall. Bernard Rimmer with the rebound. Saints, 30 on the shot clock, 50 on the game clock, can take some time off here. North Georgia on top by 10. They've led the entirety of tonight's ball game. Bernard wants a three. He'll pull back instead. Pat Moynihan. No good. Clayton State with a rebound. Levante Ryan's going coast to coast. He'll slow it up. Game clock and shot clock are even at 26. We're going to have a kick from Bernard Rimmer. Clock stops at 22.7. Shot clock at 23. Two subs into the ball game here for Clayton State. Number 5 and number 30, Brandon Robinson and Jaquiz Dobbs. Clayton State to inbound. 44-34, Saints with the lead. Moynihan, Butler, Anderson, Bennett, and Rimmer in the ball game. Shot clock is off. 20 seconds. Clayton State holding for the final shot. Downs, who has the ball now, has knocked down a couple of threes. He wants to drive. Dishes it back out. Robinson will swing it. Wilson kicks it back out. Robinson now for three. Robinson knocks it down, and that will be the end of the half. Brandon Robinson brings down a big three. And the lead at the half, 44-37 for the Saints. They never trail in the first half as they put up 44 points there in the first half. We'll have some first half stats. Take a look around the Peach Belt Conference and get you set up for the second half action. We'll also take a look around at some of the spring sports, baseball and softball, and what they did this past weekend and what they got coming up next. We'll be right back. It'll be the North Georgia Saints locker room halftime show when we come back. Saints on top, 44-37. Welcome into the locker room halftime show. Rusty Brown courtside here at Memorial Hall. The Saints, North Georgia men's team on top, 44-37. A late three there for Clayton State. Cuts Clayton State to the closest they've been in this ball game in quite some time. North Georgia Saints basketball brought to you tonight by the Campus Connection, your university bookstore. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first half stats here for your North Georgia Saints. They are led by 11 points from Tyler Norman. He was 3 of 4 from downtown, 4 of 5 from the field. Was the little point guard from Cleveland, Georgia. 8 points for Carl Taylor. 7 for Pat Moynihan. He could be tonight's Subway sub of the game. 6 points come off the hands of the big lad and Drew Bennett. Bernard Rimmer, 9 rebounds to go along with 5 total points. The Saints shooting display here tonight. 52.9% from the field, 7 of 14 from three-point land. They're shooting 50% on 14 attempts. They've got 21 points off of three-pointers. Just 1 of 2, though, from the free throw line, though, are the Saints. For Clayton State, they are led by Timothy Downs. He has 11. Robert Murray has 10. For North Georgia, foul trouble maybe a factor in the second half. 2 personal fouls for Tyler Norman, 2 for Carl Taylor, 2 for Pat Moynihan, and 2 for Chase Anderson. The Saints, though, again, 7 of 14 from downtown. Clayton State, they only shoot 38% from the field. A lot of that having to do with the stifling defense of Keldrick Coleman and Kendall Butler and company inside. They are straight shutting down Clayton State. They're also only 2 of 11 from the field. One of the lone categories, though, for the Lakers is that they were 11 of 14 from the free throw line, 78%. The Lakers getting to the charity stripe, 7 trips, 14 attempts. They were 11 of 14 there in that category. So the Saints are going to have to stay away from the fouls inside. The Saints get 34 points from the starters, 10 points come off the bench. But the turnovers here for the Saints, we talked about this in the North Georgia Saints pregame show earlier here tonight. The Saints would have to stay away from the turnovers, and they've done just that. Only 5 turnovers in the first half. Clayton State with only 3. 44-37 is where we stand right now. North Georgia on top. A late 3 from Clayton State is the only thing keeping this away from being a 10-point lead for North Georgia at the half. Stick around with us. We'll be right back in the North Georgia Saints locker room halftime show on the North Georgia Saints Broadcast Network. Welcome back into the North Georgia Saints locker room halftime show here at Memorial Hall. Saints on top 44-37. Reminder that tonight's broadcast is sponsored by Campus Connection. They are owned and operated by the university here in Dahlonega. They offer a full selection of collegiate gear, including brands like Under Armour and Russell Athletic. Your university bookstore where you will find friendly service and your official source for North Georgia merchandise. Bring your game day program to Campus Connection and receive 25% off NGCSU clothing, including items on sale. The gray jerseys out in force here tonight. They've been off and running. The Saints, 11 points from Tyler Norman. He got the Saints off early, and they have not looked back since. For the second game in a row, the Saints have yet to trail. So up at UNC Pembroke, the Saints do not trail in that ball game. They ended up winning by 9. And here today, much of the same here at Memorial Hall on top of the Lakers of Clayton State by 7 at the half. Taking a look at the Peach Belt Conference standings in the West Division as we head into the final week of the regular season. Georgia College and State 20-4 overall, 13-2 in conference play. Montevallo, they're 20-5, 10-5 in PBC play. Two of those losses coming to the Saints of North Georgia. North Georgia, our Saints are 14-11, 9-6 in conference play. Clayton State, they are 14-11, 7-8 in conference play. So those would be your four teams from the West that would be into the conference tournament if it started today. Four teams from each division are in. The rest are out, with the top two from each side playing host in the first round. So North Georgia right now would be visiting Montevallo, but that could flip-flop. If Montevallo loses tonight at GCSU, the Saints get a win here tonight and get a win on Saturday here against Georgia College and State. Columbus State and Georgia Southwestern are the two teams on the out looking in the West, and over in the East, Augusta State rolls along. They're 24-2, 16-1. Francis Marion 18-7, 10-6. Aiken 15-9, 10-7. And it's a log jam for that final spot over in the East Division. Lander, Armstrong, Atlantic, and Flagler all tied up 5-11 in PBC play, with UNC Pembroke being on the outside looking in. 44-37 is where we stand right now at the half. Saints going back to work in the second half of their next to last home game of the season, again on Saturday. And it will be GCSU coming to town up from Milledgeville. The Bobcats off to a hot start this year. They're 20-4, 13-2 in conference play. That game at 7:30. We'll have that one for you here on the North Georgia Saints Broadcast Network. This past weekend, baseball, they took 3 out of 4 from Bellarmine. They got a win yesterday on the road up in Anderson, South Carolina, 16-7. Softball, they are straight rolling, undefeated. They won, I believe, 7 this past weekend over in Alabama, Huntsville, in that Charger tournament. They are perfect on the air, number 2 in the country. We'll have some North Georgia softball for you here coming up on Monday and Tuesday, as they will be playing at home. Clayton State will start things off here in the second half. For North Georgia, Butler, Rimmer, Norman, Bennett, and Taylor, the starting 5 from earlier in the ball game. They are out on the floor. And we're ready to go here in the second half. The key for the Saints to hang on to this victory is staying out of foul trouble. They found themselves in it back in half 1. We'll see if they can shut things down here in half 2. 44-37, Clayton State starting things out here. Inside pass taken away by Bernard Rimmer. And he'll slow things down. Tyler Norman will set things up. Norman, the sophomore out of Cleveland, had a solid first half with 11 points. Taylor will swing it. Kendall Butler back out to Taylor. Norman now from the left side. 15 on the shot clock. Inside to the big lad. Bennett, left-hander, doesn't roll home. And the rebound goes to Armand Jones. Pass taken away by Kendall Butler. The Saints already with 2 quick turnovers here in the second half. Over to Bernard Rimmer. Rimmer wants a 3, thinks better of it, and he'll dish it back out to Tyler Norman, who'll set up shop. Rimmer off the right side. Bernard over to Carl Taylor. Taylor a long 3. Carl Taylor beginning to heat up. 47-37. Saints go back up by 10. Again, they have yet to trail here at Memorial Hall in this ball game in the Peach Belt Conference against Clayton State. The Lakers having to face the Saints at just probably the wrong time. North Georgia hot right now. 3-pointer off the mark. Rebound Butler. Butler will bring it up. Saints rolling as they head into the back stretch of the season, the final week before tournament play. Bernard has it stripped away from him. Butler fighting inside. Last touch by Jacquez Dobbs. Here comes Levante Rhines into the ball game, and Clayton State's Gordon Gibbons wants a timeout. We'll take one with him. Just underway here in the second half. 18:34 left to go. 47-37, North Georgia on top. A 3-pointer from Carl Taylor. You're listening to North Georgia Saints basketball on the North Georgia Saints broadcast network. Saints back to work. 47-37 on top. Rusty Brown alongside with you. Next to last game of the season here for both of these clubs. Bennett working inside. Inside to Rimmer he goes. Rimmer double team. Tough shot. He's fouled. Bernard is hacked inside. The foul is on Jacquez Dobbs. Second on Dobbs, and that'll send Bernard to the line. He'll shoot a pair. 18:05 left. Saints get that three-pointer back that they lost right at the buzzer at the end of the first half. They go back on top by 10, looking to make it 11 and 12 here at the line. Bernard, good on the front end. Bernard getting things done with a soft touch. We all know how physical he is inside, but Bernard, from the free throw line, he's shooting 66%. Also has got a three-pointer here tonight. Bernard toes the line. Second free throw no good. Might have spoke too soon, and we're going to have a foul inside immediately on Kendall Butler. And that's what you get with Kendall sometimes. Him and Keldrick Coleman, these two guys fight inside with everything they got. Sometimes they find themselves in foul trouble. But 110% all the time from Kendall Butler and Keldrick Coleman. Inside 18 to go. Saints on top by 11. Ball turned over by Clayton State. And we talked about it in the first half. The turnover bug was going to be the difference here in this one. Clayton State now with actually make that 6 turnovers. North Georgia with just 5. And North Georgia coming into today averaging 16 turnovers a ball game. So barring a complete falling apart here by the offense, Saints will lower that. Bennett inside, left-hander a bit too strong. Clayton State coming away. Nice halftime performance from the North Georgia competition cheerleading squad. They always seem to do well at the Division II level. 1 foul apiece here in the second half per team. Shot off the mark, rebound goes to Kendall Butler, and the shooting woes continue here for Clayton State into the second half. Back in the first, they only shot 38%. Three-pointer off the mark. Rebound goes to Rimmer. Rimmer, double teamed inside. Kendall Butler off the glass, and good. 50-37 Saints back on top. Largest lead of the half is now 13. Saints have still yet to trail through about 64 minutes of basketball. Rimmer, he'll double dribble. Rimmer upset with himself. Tried to get going a bit too fast. Thought about a pass, pulled it back, and he walked. 16:44. Clayton State will take over the 6th turnover of the ball game for the Saints, and here comes Keldrick Coleman. Andy Bennett, the big lad, will have a seat. 50-37. Clayton State takes over in front of the scorer's table. Chilly night here in Dahlonega, Georgia this evening. And beautiful weather the past weekend as the baseball team got in 4 games, but here tonight, chilly weather, snow flurries expected later on tonight. Shot clock down to 20 here for CSU. They want to drive. Little scoop and a foul. Basket doesn't fall, but 21, Robert Murray will go to the line to shoot 2. He is fouled by Kendall Butler. And you saw Murray right there, thought about a 3. He pulled back instead and decided to drive and pick up the foul. And you know that that's what Gordon Gibbons wants to do here in the second half. Back in the first, 14 times Clayton State got to the line. They connected for 11. There were just 2 of 11 from the perimeter. So if Gordon Gibbons can have his way, he wants his players to drive inside instead of working the perimeter. Free throw no good from Robert Murray, the senior from Decatur. Clock is stopped at 16:24. Kendall Butler picked up his 2nd foul of the ball game. So Butler with 2, as is Norman, Taylor, Moynihan, and Anderson. Second free throw is good. Torrin Green, the sophomore out of Riverdale, Georgia, 6'6" sophomore, checks in for the first time here tonight. He's number 33. 16:24 left. Saints looking to stay on fire heading into the tournament. Rimmer. They'll bring it up over Coleman. Coleman to Taylor. Taylor might have gotten away with the travel. Gives it off to Norman. Saints swinging it across the perimeter. A lot of motion without the ball here tonight, though, from the Saints. This team is definitely alive offensively. Butler from the baseline. No good. High percentage shot from Kendall. Can't knock it down. Here comes Clayton State. A little runner doesn't fall. Rebound goes to Kendall Butler. And Tyler Norman will set things up. 50-38. Saints on top by 12. Inside 16 to go. Norman will take a three. Tyler, no good. Stormer Norman off the mark there. Clock inside 15:40. Clayton State wants to drive, and a nice strip inside by Rimmer. Clayton State retains possession. Nice dish. Torn Green. And the little point guard, Timothy Downs, connects off the glass. The lead now just 10 for North Georgia. Clayton State 14-11 overall, 7-8 in PVC play. North Georgia 14-11, 9-6 in the conference. Shot blocked. Coleman is down. He looks to be all right. Clayton State will pop a three. No good. Rebound goes to Rimmer. Brandon Robinson had to look at three and can't connect. Coleman shaken up after having that shot blocked. Little floater falls on the baseline, though, for Kendall Butler. Keldrick Coleman slow to get up. Here comes Clayton State on the drive back. Little left-hander doesn't fall for the point guard Timothy Downs. Pat Moynihan will check in for North Georgia. We'll have a timeout on the floor. 14:40 left to go. North Georgia Saints basketball is brought to you tonight by Campus Connection. They're owned and operated by the university. They offer a full selection of collegiate gear, including brands like Under Armour and Russell Athletics. Saints on top by 12, 52-40. Inside 15 minutes to play. Saints looking for a win. Saints with two scorers in double digits. Tyler Norman has 11. Carl Taylor has 11 as well. Stormer Norman 3 of 5 from behind the perimeter, as is Carl Taylor. 8 points for Kendall Butler. 6 for Bernard Rimmer. He's got 12 rebounds, 10 of them coming off the defensive end. Bernard Rimmer working solid on the defensive side. On the ball game, Saints shooting 48.8% from the field, just 33% here in the second half. 47% from behind the three-point line and 50% from the charity stripe. The Saints have only gotten to the foul line 4 times here tonight, while Clayton State has been there 16 times. So North Georgia would love to find a way to get to the charity stripe. Maybe start to go inside and get away from the perimeter play later on in the ball game. 52-40 is where we stand right now. Saints on top by 12. Norman working on Rhines. Double teamed. Has it taken away. 3-on-2. Clayton State will not get the basket. Man, the Saints dodge a bullet there. A turnover goes by the wayside here for Clayton State. Eric Wilson was laying the ball in, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here comes Torrin Green to jam it home, but the ball was halfway down the gully of the basket. And Clayton State comes away with another steal, and North Georgia all of a sudden turning the ball over. Finding inside and getting the basket is Armand Jones. So Clayton State with a quick defensive pressure here, and they make it a 10-point game. Saints get it into Taylor. Taylor wanted to go inside to Bennett, couldn't get it to him. 52-42, inside 14 to play. Taylor wants to drive, dishes it back out to Norman. Norman goes baseline, he's fouled hard. He'll go to the line. So Tyler Norman will go to the free throw line, just the third trip of the ball game for the Saints. Foul is on Eric Wilson. That is his first for the senior out of Morrow. Norman trying to catch his breath. It's a 10-point lead for the Saints. And that one rattles home for Tyler Norman. Memorial Hall, home to some of the softest rims in the Peach Belt. Lead is 11. Back up to 12 now. Chase Anderson, the freshman, checks back into the ball game. Anderson out of Mill Creek High School, down around the metro Atlanta area. Local news today, Jabo Shaw, local product, quarterback with Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, that triple option team from around here in the North Georgia area, has transferred to Georgia Southern University to run the option. Layup miss from Clayton State, last touch by the Lakers. And North Georgia will take over. John Knowlton into the ball game. Bernard Rimmer will have a seat. Knowlton, 6'7" junior out of Warner Robins. North Georgia trapped in the backcourt. Pat Moynihan gives it off to Taylor. Taylor has it taken away. Clayton State will finish it off with a jam on the other end from Levante Rhines. Lead is just 10. Anderson, the freshman, trapped, gives it off to the freshman Moynihan, back to Anderson. Saints break the timeline. Taylor with a chance for three. Carl Taylor swishes at home. Carl Taylor knocking down his fourth three, and the lead is back up to 13. Inside the perimeter, a deuce falls for Eric Wilson. And again, here comes that backcourt pressure. Chase Anderson trying to break it. He's double teamed, stops his dribble. He's trapped. Anderson fighting, gives it up to John Knowlton. Might have gotten away with a foul. Chase swings it. Carl Taylor off the mark, gets his own rebound. Chase Anderson will set things up. 12:40 on the game clock, 25 on the shot clock. Saints on top by 11. And we're going to have a foul out on the perimeter. Armand Jones. That is just his first, and here comes 4 Lakers into the ball game. Robert Murray, Timothy Downs, Jermil Daniels into the ball game. As is Jerron Dobbs, and here comes Kendall Butler, and Carl Taylor will have a seat. Saints getting production all up and down the lineup. A lot of ball distribution here tonight as well. Bennett retains possession, nearly loses it inside on the inbound. Chase Anderson. Give it off to Pat Moynihan, a pair of freshmen out on the floor here for Chris Faulkner. Bennett trapped out on the perimeter, and that's not where you want him. Anderson wants to go right side. 15 on the shot clock. Good defense here from the Lakers. That clock is ticking. Moynihan inside the free throw line, no good. Loose ball, a fight for it down there on the baseline. Last touch by North Georgia. Good hustle, though, from, surprise, surprise, the garbage man, Kendall Butler. 12 minutes flat remaining in the ball game. North Georgia basketball brought to you tonight by Campus Connection, your university bookstore. They've got all kinds of collegiate gear, including brands like Under Armour and Russell Athletic. Check them out. They're on campus here in North Georgia. Inside 11:50. 57-46. Saints on top by 11. Two-pointer off the mark, no good. Daniels couldn't connect. Saints are looking to go to 15 and 11, and we'll have a foul out on the perimeter. And the fouls really racking up here for Clayton State in the second half after just committing 5 fouls in the first half. They've already got 4 here in the second. Chase Anderson will have a seat, and here comes Tyler Norman. Butler on the inbound. Gets it into Knowlton. And Tyler Norman was going to set up shop. Fresh shot clock here for the Saints. 11-point lead. Norman wants to drive. Norman all the way to the basket. He's fouled. Can't connect, but he'll go to the line. Tyler Norman finding a way to get to the basket, and when he's not, he's spotting up from the perimeter. Foul is on Dobbs. That is just his first of the evening. Tyler Norman from the free throw line, 65% on the year. And Tyler Norman has been fantastic filling in for Michael Moynihan, who's lost for the season in his career. First free throw is good. 58-46. Saints back in action this weekend. Georgia College and State comes to town on Saturday. Baseball for you on Sunday. Softball on Monday and Tuesday. Busy weekend for the broadcast crew here in the North Georgia Saints Broadcast Network. 59-46. Saints up by 13. A little drive and a little scoop doesn't fall here. But a foul inside. I think they're going to get John Knowlton with the hold. Carl Taylor set to check back in. And here comes Pat Moynihan over to the bench. 11:02 remaining. Saints on top by 13 here in the second. Clayton State has a fresh shot clock. Murray to inbound. Clayton State's been ice cold from the perimeter here tonight. The only way they've had success is getting to the free throw line, and here in the second, they have not been doing that. Three-pointer. The lefty knocks it down. Timothy Downs, the junior. That's his second three of the night. Tyler Norman fighting for the loose ball. 10:30 remaining. Lead is 10. Bennett inside now. Bennett loses the basketball. Big lad couldn't hang up to it. Clayton State up ahead. Little underneath. Scoop doesn't fall. Kendall Butler comes away with a rebound, and Teron Dobbs made that layup a bit more difficult than he probably had to. Try to scoop it underneath the basket, and we'll have a foul out on the perimeter. Jaquiz Dobbs. Dobbs doesn't like the call. For Dobbs, that'll be his third personal. The sixth team foul here, so one more, and the Saints will be going to the line to shoot the one-on-one. And here comes Armand Jones back into the ball game. Butler to inbound. 10:07 left. Saints up by 10. Norman trying to run the offense. Tyler's done a good job of it. The sophomore being thrusted into the starting point guard role after the loss of Michael Moynihan about 3 weeks ago. Butler driving right side. He'll be fouled before the basket. That puts the Saints in the bonus. Foul is on Dobbs, and Kendall Butler will go to the free throw line to shoot the one-on-one. Kendall on the air from the free throw line, 68%. We have a timeout on the floor. 59-49, Saints on top. 9:48 left. Saints will be going to the line to shoot the one-on-one. When we come back, North Georgia Saints basketball brought to you by Campus Connection, your university bookstore. Saints on top by 10. Just 9 minutes, 48 seconds left. Saints down to their final two ball games of the season. Trying to win their second straight, 59-49. They're on top by 10 over Clayton State. Reminder, tonight's game is brought to you by Campus Connection, your university bookstore. They are owned and operated by the university, and they offer a full selection of collegiate gear, including brands like Under Armour and Russell Athletic. Your university bookstore, where you'll find friendly service and your official North Georgia merchandise. Bring your game day program to Campus Connection and receive 25% off North Georgia clothing, including items on sale. Butler for the one-on-one. Kendall is good. And the senior tries to make it two in a row from the line. He does. And the lead is back up to 12. Saints on top, 61-49. Bernard Rimmer checks back into the ball game here for North Georgia. For the Saints, Butler has 10, Norman has 15, Taylor has 14, Rimmer has 6. Little drive inside, swatted away by Bernard. Tyler Norman comes away with it. He wants to drive left side. Tyler Norman with a nice scoop. Nearly got it to fall. Tyler would have been a beautiful layup if he got it. He does not. Here comes Clayton State. And a foul inside on the reach. Kendall Butler picks up his third foul. And here comes Torrin Green back in for Gordon Gibbons. It's the fourth team foul on the Saints. For Clayton State, their leading scorer is Downs. He has 16, 11 for Murray, 6 for Wilson, 6 for Jones, 5 for Robinson off the bench. 25 on the shot clock, 9:05 on the game clock. Two-pointer, good. Robert Murray. Carl Taylor to bring it up here for the Saints. Taylor and Norman, the guards. Bennett, the center. Kendall Butler and Bernard Rimmer in as well. Pass inside, taken away. Rimmer can't handle it. Here comes Clayton State. All the way to the basket goes Timothy Downs. He shows off the wheels. And the lead now is just back down to 8 after being 12. And a foul on Clayton State. Robert Murray trying to get defensive positioning. And here comes Gordon Gibbons all the way out onto the floor. Gordon Gibbons not happy with the call. Neither coach is unhappy with these referees. And we might have a technical on the way. Tonight's referees thought about teeing up Gibbons. Bill DePrano, Matt DePiro, and Hasiba Braggs nearly teed up Gordon Gibbons there. Butler on the one-on-one is good on the front end. 62-53. Neither one of these coaches very happy with tonight's officials. 8:36 remaining. Saints are in the bonus. Both free throws are good from Kendall. And here comes Pat Moynihan, and Kendall Butler will have a seat. So the Saints in the first half just getting to the free throw line 2 times. Found a way to get to the free throw line here in the second. Three-pointer good. Eric Wilson. And the lead now is just down to 7. This is the closest that Clayton State has been in this half. 63-56. North Georgia trying to close this one out with 8 minutes left. And we'll have a foul. Number 33, Torrin Green, a block right here in front of us. Carl Taylor tiptoeing down the baseline. So Carl Taylor will go to the line as the Saints are in the bonus. 19 fouls now on Clayton State. The foul first for Torrin Green. Taylor good on the front end. The Saints been hot from the free throw line here in the second half. 64-56. And the lead is just 8. Clayton State with the rebound. Wilson. He just knocked down a 3. He wants to drive. Dish inside. Last touch by Clayton State. Bernard Rimmer got a piece of it and bounced it off of Torrin Green. Here comes Keldrick Coleman into the ball game, and Andy Bennett will have a seat. Saints on top here at the 8-minute mark. 64-56. Reminder, folks, stick around for the post-game show. We wrap up. Hopefully will be another North Georgia win. Norman will bring it up here for the Saints. Tyler having a big night. He's got 15. 3 3-pointers for the sophomore. Taylor, he's got 4 3-pointers. Pat Moynihan with 15 on the shot clock from the right side. Looking for movement, gives it off to Rimmer. Rimmer will travel out on the perimeter. Good defense from Armand Jones. Rimmer trying to scoot by him, but he traveled beforehand. And here comes Brandon Robinson, the junior, back in for Clayton State. 7:34 left to go. 64-56. The lead is 8. Clayton State making a bit of a comeback here in the second half, not going down easily. North Georgia has not trailed in this ball game, but they've not led by any more than about 13. Inside, good defense from Moynihan. Rebound, though, goes back to Robinson, and Bernard Rimmer comes away with it. Two Clayton State defenders are down on the ground. Saints have numbers. Moynihan into Rimmer. Rimmer gets his own rebound. Tries to go back up with it, has it taken away. The North Georgia coaching staff hollering for a foul, and we'll have one down on the other end on North Georgia. The basket is good. And Clayton State will go to the line and make it an old-fashioned three-point play. Tyler Norman looked like he had positioning over there to pick up the charge. That'll be the fifth team foul, the third on Tyler Norman. And all of a sudden, here comes the Lakers. 64-58, the lead is just 6, and it could be just 5 if Robert Murray can connect on the three-point play. Murray, senior out of the Metro Atlanta area, makes it a three-point play in a 5-point contest. 64-59, all of a sudden we got ourselves a close ball game. It's been all North Georgia here tonight, but here comes the Lakers. 7:04 left. Rimmer gets the inbound. Backcourt pressure here from the Lakers. Up ahead to Moynihan. Moynihan has it blocked from behind. Norman for three, no good. Rebound Bernard Rimmer and a foul inside. Bernard leaping so high up into the air to rebound the basketball. Armand Jones picks up the second personal as the 10th team foul, so Saints now in the double bonus as Bernard will go to the line to shoot two. Rimmer here tonight, he has 6 points, make that 7. 15 rebounds for Bernard. The Mississippi native. No good on the second. Rebound goes to Clayton State. Here comes the Lakers. They're working quick. A little point guard with a drive and the basket, gets it to fall. He'll go to the line to make it a three-point play. Timothy Downs showing off the speed. And Tyler Norman picks up his 4th personal foul. So Tyler Norman in hot water. Kendall Butler in for Pat Moynihan. And here comes Chase Anderson as Tyler Norman will have a seat. The lead is just 4, and it could be just 3. And head coach Chris Faulkner wants a timeout. Full timeout taken, 6:44 left. Here comes Clayton State, down by just 4, and they're at the line to make it 3 when we come back. 6:44 left, Saints on top, 65-61. Inside 6:45 to go. Rusty Brown courtside with you on the North Georgia Saints Broadcast Network, brought to you by Campus Connection, your university bookstore. Clayton State has come roaring back. A couple of three-point plays as Timothy Downs goes to try to make it another one. It's a 4-point North Georgia lead, which was 14. Free throw is good. Here comes Robert Murray. The lead is just 3, a one-possession ball game here for North Georgia. Clayton State remains in the backcourt pressure. We'll see what Chris Faulkner does out of the timeout offensively. Rimmer Gets the inbound. Over to Chase Anderson. He's the guard. Up ahead to Butler. Butler swings it back to Anderson. Anderson wants to slow it down. A freshman out of Mill Creek High School. Going right side. Runs into Jones. Taylor for three. Carl Taylor with a big three-pointer there, right when the Saints needed one. Carl Taylor hits a no-doubter, draining it home, and the lead is back up to 6. Three-pointer. Good. They're going to say it was just a two-pointer from Eric Wilson, but Clayton State heating up from the field. 68-64. Anderson breaks the pressure. Up ahead to Taylor. Taylor trap. Triple team. Taylor has it taken away from him. Oh, no. Here comes Clayton State. The basket and the foul. Robert Murray will go to the line to make it a three-point play. And the lead is just 2. About to be 1 as Andrew Bennett checks in. Clayton State's backcourt pressure finally starting to get to these young guards. One hand in for Butler. Robert Murray will go to the line to make it the third three-point play in the last 10 minutes for Clayton State. 17 fouls now on North Georgia. And the lead is just 1, 68-67. Moynihan to inbound. Chase Anderson is number 21. He's in. Bernard Rimmer, 33. Carl Taylor, 14. And Andrew Bennett, number 40. Saints just get it in, and it's taken away by Clayton State, and another foul underneath. And Chris Faulkner is livid. Brandon Robinson will go to the line to shoot 2. Referees calling anything inside the paint. Fouls on Pat Moynihan. And Brandon Robinson can take the lead. Game is tied at 68. Saints having a hard time getting the ball into that backcourt pressure. They got to figure out something. Second free throw is good, and Clayton State takes their first lead of the ball game at the 5:51 mark, 69-68. Jones checks back in for Clayton State. North Georgia to inbound with that high-pressured backcourt defense. Anderson looking to get it in. Finally gets it to Rimmer. Rimmer up ahead to Taylor. Here comes the Saints. Taylor going to drive it with jerseys all over him, and no foul on the other end. You have got to be kidding. Ball swatted away by Clayton State's number 5, Brandon Robinson, and a technical on Chris Faulkner. And this referee crew is losing it. Chris Faulkner has been tossed from the ball game, a double technical, and Chris Faulkner is getting all in the referee's ears. And probably a good thing he is, because that is a horrible call down on the other end. No two ways about it. Clayton State had to have fouled down on the other end. Chris Faulkner walking off the court, getting in the referee's ears as much as possible, but horrible officiating here in the backstretch of this ball game. 69-68 is where we stand. Clayton State has regained the lead. Chris Faulkner has just been tossed from the ball game with a double technical. And what's gotten Chris Faulkner so upset is the fact that down on the other end, there have been 3 really quick fouls on North Georgia that's given Clayton State the lead. And then on North Georgia's end, they drive the ball all the way down to the basket. 4 blue jerseys are draped over Carl Taylor. He doesn't get a foul. And some questionable officiating here. So the double technical will give Clayton State a plethora of free throws in the basketball. They're on top 69-68, looking for more here inside 6 minutes, and going to the line will be Robert Murray. Murray no good on the front end. Big round of applause here from the crowd. Maybe justice being served here with a poor officiating. Murray good on the second. And even looking at it from an unbiased standpoint, the officiating has been completely one-sided here in the second half. And granted, these officials have a hard job to do, and it's tough to please everybody in the Coliseum, but at the same time, you got to call things both ways. 72-68. The lead is 4 now for Clayton State. It will be North Georgia basketball with 5:46 left. 72-68. Clayton State has taken the lead. Chris Faulkner has been ejected with a double technical. 5:46 left. Now, I've never really been one to agree with a coach going as far as getting the double technical, but in Chris Faulkner's case, I can certainly understand why. Rimmer on the inbound. Gets it into Bennett. Saints trail by 4, their largest deficit of the ball game. Taylor for a quick three, no good. Rebound goes to the Lakers. Here comes Robinson. Robinson all the way to the basket. Saints not wanting to touch him because it would be a foul. 74-68. Pass thrown off the backboard. Pressure from Clayton State forcing another turnover. 5:23 left. Clayton State has come roaring back, and all of a sudden they have blown by North Georgia. Clayton State inbound underneath their own basket. Both teams are in the double bonus. 5:23 remaining. Saints trail by 6. 74-68. Robert Murray gives it off to Downs. Downs will set up shot. 15 on the shot clock. Clayton State taking their time with a 6-point lead. 5 minutes left. Downs working on Taylor. Goes right side. Kick back out. Three-pointer off the mark. Rebound and a foul on Clayton State. Armand Jones picks up the foul. And the Saints will go to the line to shoot 2. Carl Taylor will go to the line. 74-68. Saints trailing here by 6. As Carl Taylor goes to the line to shoot a pair. 2 big free throws coming up here for Carl. First is good. And the lead now is 5 for CSU. Taylor, good on the second, but there is a lane violation on Andrew Bennett. So the lead remains 5 here for Clayton State. I beg your pardon. Yeah, 5, 74-69. They finally get it straightened out. 4:50 left in what has been a weird second half. North Georgia with a huge lead, and all of a sudden Clayton State has come roaring back. A double technical ejects Chris Faulkner from the ball game. Questionable officiating here in the second half. 4:30 left. Clayton State with a 5-point lead in the ball. Backdoor cut. Layup missed. Put back. And it'll be an offensive foul on Armand Jones on the putback. That is Jones's 4th foul. So North Georgia will again go to the line to shoot 2. And here comes Torrin Green. Well, he thought about it. Now he'll have a seat. So Pat Moynihan, the lefty, goes to the line. And again, this has been a strange second half. Clayton State's come roaring back. Pat Moynihan will toe the line. 74-69 CSU. Moynihan, good on the first. 74-70 inside 4.5 to play. Here comes Keldrick Coleman. Andrew Bennett will have a seat. Pat Moynihan on the season from the free throw line, 75%. Freshman. No good. Rebound goes to Clayton State. Numbers on the night for North Georgia: 15 for Norman, 19 for Taylor, 12 for Butler, 8 for Pat Moynihan. And for CSU, 22 for Murray, 21 for Downs, 11 for Wilson, 9 for Robinson. 15 on the shot clock, 4 minutes on the game clock. Clayton State by 4. Downs off the left side, a drive. Taken away by Keldrick Coleman and a jump ball. Possession arrow goes to the Lakers. Shot clock is just at 5, and here comes Kendall Butler into the ball game for Pat Moynihan. CSU to inbound. Timeout taken by Gordon Gibbons. We'll take one with them. Both these teams trying to cool down a bit. Chris Faulkner has been ejected with the double technical. 3:58 left, 74-70. Saints trailing under 4 minutes to play. Time running out for the Saints. 3:58 left to go. 74-70. Saints maintaining the lead the entirety of the ball game until several three-point plays for Clayton State halves them and tops 74-70. Under 4 minutes to play. 5 seconds on the shot clock for Clayton State. They'll inbound. Rusty Brown with you for this wild finish. Norman comes away with a steal. Kendall Butler will slow it up. Up ahead to Coleman. Coleman underneath the basket. And he's going to be fouled inside. I was about to say, if they did not call a foul there, then there is something seriously wrong. Foul is called. And Geldrick Coleman will go to the line to shoot 2 in the double bonus. Foul is on Jaquiz Dobbs. That is his 4th personal. Geldrick. Good on the front end. 74-71. Saints within 3. Both teams are in the double bonus. Andy Bennett set to check back in. Free throw no good. Loose ball picked up by Butler. Taylor will set it up. 3:45 left. Saints trail by 3 in what's going to be a wild finish at Memorial Hall. 3:40 left. Norman off the left side. He gives it off to Butler. Kendall will drive. The dish back out. Carl Taylor. No good. And a foul inside. Working hard for positioning is Kendall Butler. And there'll be an over the back called on Clayton State. That is the 5th on Jaquiz Dobbs. And Dobbs' night is done inside the paint. So Jaquiz Dobbs, a senior from Conyers, will go to the bench. And the sub in for him is Eric Wilson, the senior. Armin Jones also into the ball game. So Dobbs goes out with 5 fouls on the night. Dobbs with just 1 point and 6 rebounds. Free throw off the mark from Kendall Butler. Eric Wilson now in for Brandon Robinson. The lead is 3 for Clayton State. 3.5 minutes left. Both teams are in the double bonus. Butler. Good. Lead is 2 now for the Lakers. Wild finish coming your way on the North Georgia Saints Broadcast Network, saintsports.com and peachbelt.com. 3:20 left. Wilson off the left side. He wants to drive middle of the lane, loses it, gets it back. 15 on the shot clock. Wilson, little fadeaway, tough shot. Geldrick Coleman comes away with the board. Good defense from Butler, who's in his face. Norman over to Rimmer. Rimmer back to Norman. Norman gives it off to Coleman. Norman now off the left side. Norman might have gotten away. Taylor, might have gotten away with the travel. He's fouled though on the baseline by Robert Murray. And Carl Taylor will go to the line. He's got a chance to tie it back up at 74. Inside 3 to play. 2:55 left. Tyler. Taylor is good. Carl tonight has 21 points. 21 for Taylor, 15 for Norman, 13 for Butler, 7 for Rimmer, 2 for Coleman. Saints trying to come away with a win. And we're going to have an offensive foul inside on Clayton State. Armand Jones with a foul inside. That is his 5th. So Armand Jones is down, and Gordon Gibbons is running out of big guys. Gibbons not happy with the call. Referees pushing Gibbons back. We've already had one coach ejected here tonight. Referees having a long look in. And the night is done for the big man, Armand Jones. Jones ends the night with 6 points, 8 rebounds, and a timeout taken by North Georgia. 2:38 left. We're tied up at 74. North Georgia will be to the line shooting 2 with 2:38 left when we come back on the North Georgia Saints Broadcast Network. Josh Travis has taken over for Chris Faulkner, who has been ejected from the ball game. Josh is in his 7th season as a men's basketball assistant coach. During his tenure with the Saints, the program has posted a 92 and 86 mark. He was a grad assistant in 03-04. He comes from Reinhardt College, where he served as an assistant for the women's basketball team in 02 and 03. Josh Travis will take the Saints the rest of the way from here. 74-74 is where we stand. Wild finish here, to say the least. Weird second half. Seen a roaring comeback from Clayton State. They went up by as many as 5, and North Georgia has regained the lead back at, tied the game back at 74 with 2:38 remaining. Both teams are well into the double bonus. Norman to inbound. Gets it into Bennett. Norman will slow things down with 2:30 remaining in the ball game, tied at 74. Big possession here. Travis rallying his troops. Norman over to Rimmer. Rimmer to Taylor. And we'll have a 3-second violation on Andrew Bennett. Second time that's been called tonight, once on each team. Into the ball game comes number 5. Brandon Robinson for CSU and head coach Gordon Gibbons. 74 apiece, 2:20 left. Downs will bring it up for Clayton State. Downs off the left side, 2:10 left. It's down to 125 seconds in the ball game. 74 apiece. Downs working on Norman. 10 on the shot clock. He'll take a 3, and he'll knock it home. Timothy Downs knocks a huge 3-pointer down, and the little point guard that could knocks down a huge 3 with 1:51 left. Timeout taken by Gordon Gibbons. 1:51 left. Saints trail by 3. You're listening to North Georgia Saints basketball on the North Georgia Broadcast Network. Head coach for the Saints, Chris Faulkner, ejected from the ball game with a double technical back at the 5:46 mark. Josh Travis taking the Saints the rest of the way with a $1:51 left. Clayton State is on top by 3, 77-74. Saints led 44-37 at the half. They extended that lead into double digits. And then Clayton State took their first lead of the ball game back around the 6-minute mark. Norman on the inbound. A $1:51 left in the ball game. Carl Taylor and Tyler Norman will bring it up. 1:40 left in the ball game. Saints trail by 3, 77-74. Butler gives it off to Taylor. Taylor for 3. Carl Taylor rims out, no good. Loose ball picked up by Butler. Taylor now trapped. Fresh shot clock. Tyler Norman wants a 3, thought better of it. Gives it off to Butler. Kendall will swing it to Taylor. Taylor baseline, nothing there. Long pass over to Tyler Norman to Butler, or to Rimmer. Rimmer to Taylor. Carl Taylor for 3, and we're tied. Timeout taken. 32nd by Josh Travis. And Carl Taylor keeps coming up big here for the Saints. We're tied back up at 77, and what's sure to be one of the more wild finishes we've seen here at Memorial Hall. We saw a wild one last time we were out here at Memorial Hall between the Saints and Montevallo. The Saints getting a close victory. Tied up at 77. A $1:08 left in the ball game. Both of these coaches now having to strategize for Clayton State. Gordon Gibbons trying to put something together. North Georgia's Josh Travis running the show. And with 66 seconds left, we're tied up at 77. Again, both teams are in the double bonus. North Georgia basketball is brought to you tonight by Campus Connection, your university bookstore. Your university bookstore where you'll find friendly service and the official source for North Georgia merchandise. Located here on campus. Inside a minute to play now. Clayton State with 25 on the shot clock. Down to the final couple of possessions of the game. 77 apiece. Downs wants to drive all the way, and he'll be fouled by Kendall Butler. Downs just so quick from the perimeter, driving inside. He doesn't even have to have a fantastic crossover with that kind of speed and with his short stature. 4th on Kendall. And going to the line will be Timothy Downs. 51.5 seconds left. Downs. Couple of big shots here tonight. The 5'7" point guard is good on the first. Lead goes back to Clayton State 78-77. Keldrick Coleman will have a seat. Butler has 4. 51.5 left. Free throw is good. The lead is 2 for Clayton State. 50 seconds left. Could be final chance time here for the Saints. Down by 2 with 40 seconds left. 25 on the shot clock. Norman over on the left side. Gives it off to Butler. Butler wants to drive. He'll bring it back out instead. Carl Taylor, who knocked down a big 3 a moment ago with it. 15 on the shot clock, 30 on the game clock. Saints down by 2. They have to score on this possession. Norman over to Butler. Butler back to Norman. Tyler for 3. Tyler Norman gives the Saints the lead. 19 seconds left. This is it. Shot clock is off. A three-pointer for Clayton State. No good. Loose ball. 13 seconds left. And Carl Taylor comes away with it. Tyler Norman knocks down a gigantic three-pointer to give the Saints a 1-point lead with their best free throw shooter going to the line to shoot 2. And Tyler Norman, the sophomore, sparking life at Memorial Hall after a weird second half. Whew, what a finish. 80-79, 12 seconds left. Shot clock is off. Taylor makes it a 2-point lead. Clayton State's three-point shooter is Timothy Downs. He has 3 three-pointers on the day. Downs has 26 for CSU, 22 is their other leading scorer. North Georgia pulls back all their rebounders. Butler has 13. Norman has 18. 25 for Taylor. 7 for Rimmer. 6 for Bennett. Carl Taylor makes it a three-point lead with 12 seconds left. Timeout taken by Josh Travis, who's come on for head coach for the North Georgia Saints, Chris Faulkner, who's been ejected from the ball game with 11.9 seconds left. This one's going to be a wild finish. Both teams are in the double bonus. We're going to set this one up for you throughout this timeout. Saints trying to figure out what they want to come up with here defensively. Looks like Reed Buck is going to check into the ball game. And with 11.9 left, a couple of big buckets here for the Saints. They trailed by 2 with the clock ticking down around 30 seconds to go in the ball game. A huge three-pointer for Tyler Norman. For Norman, that was his 4th three-pointer of the night. Taylor has 6 three-pointers, but Norman knocked down a big 3 with 30 seconds left to give the Saints a 1-point lead. Down on the other end, a three-pointer from Clayton State just missed. Rebound went to Taylor. Taylor was immediately fouled. He connected on both free throws, and that's where we stand right now, 82-79. Both teams are in the double bonus. So a defensive strategy here that a lot of coaches will use with a three-point lead and no time on the clock is to immediately foul and send the team to the line on top by 3. The worst-case scenarios, they make both, and you have a 1-point lead with the basketball. For the Saints in the foul department, Butler with 4, Norman with 4, Taylor with 2, 3 for Pat Monahan, 3 for Anderson, 1 for Coleman, 1 for Knowlton. It's Norman, Butler, Taylor, Rimmer, and Coleman in the ball game. 11.9 seconds, shot clock is off. Saints by 3. Here comes Downs. Downs off the left side. He'll probably shoot. He'll try to give it off instead. Wide open for 3. No good. 2 seconds left. Clock stops at 1 second. Ball out of bounds. Last touch by the Saints. Let's see. I bet they're going to put some more time on the clock here. They will look at this. 1.5 seconds now, and a timeout taken by Gordon Gibbons. So it'll have to be a catch and release situation here for Clayton State. They had a wide open look for 3 and couldn't knock it home. With 1.5 seconds left, the Saints trying to hang on for the 3-point victory. And the 3-point shooter for Clayton State is their point guard, Timothy Downs. Downs has had a big night for CSU. He has 26. 3 3-pointers, 1 3-pointer for Wilson and Robinson. Murray has 22 points, 9 for Robinson, 11 for Wilson. It's been a Timothy Downs show here for Clayton State, but for North Georgia, a huge night from Carl Taylor. He explodes for 26, but Tyler Norman with clutch shooting a big 3-pointer that gave the Saints the lead. And a great job of coaching here by the North Georgia Saints coaching staff too. 5:45 left. They lose their head coach, Chris Faulkner, for the remainder of the ball game, as he was teed up twice and ejected. Clayton State took the lead around the 5:50 mark. And North Georgia's been roaring back since, and Josh Travis wants to take a timeout. We'll take one with him. North Georgia not yet ready here defensively. 1.5 seconds left. We'll be right back. Saints up by 3, 1.5 left. Clayton State with the ball, trying to tie it up. Ball game on the line. This is it, folks. 1.5 seconds left. 82-79. Saints on top. Clayton State to inbound with one last chance at a 3. They need 3 to tie it. A 3-pointer and a foul will win it. 1.5 seconds left. They get the ball in. 3-pointer, a look at the buzzer is no good. Off the mark. It was Robert Murray taking the 3, and North Georgia wins a wild one here tonight. 82-79. And for North Georgia, not much builds momentum more than a win like this here tonight at home against Clayton State, as North Georgia improves on the season now to 15-11, 10-6 in PBC play. Clayton State falls to 14-12, 7-9 in conference action. We'll have the final stats for you here in just a few minutes. It's the North Georgia Saints post-game wrap-up show. North Georgia winning a wild one here tonight, as North Georgia has to hang on here late and claw their way back into it before they can do so. But North Georgia, a big winner here tonight without their head coach, Chris Faulkner, who was ejected at the 5:45 mark. And the Saints hang on for the three-point victory, 82-79. And Josh Travis picks up a big win here as he has to come in and run the show here for the Saints, and does a fantastic job of doing so. So the Saints a winner here tonight, 82-79. Final stats, Butler finishes the night with 13. 18 has Tyler Norman. And Tyler knocks down a big three there late in the ball game. 26 points for Carl Taylor. He has a huge night. He is tonight's player of the game. Kendall Butler adds 13. Pat Moynihan is tonight's subway sub of the game, as he has 8 points coming off the bench. 2 for Keldrick Coleman, 2 for John Knowlton. And Bernard Rimmer adds 7 to go along with 15 rebounds. But I beg your pardon, Bernard Rimmer has 7 to 15 rebounds. Bennett with 6 and 3. For Clayton State, they fall to 14-12, 7-9 in conference. And you get 26 from Downs, 22 from Murray, 11 from Wilson, but neither one of those three leading scorers for them could knock down a three late in the ball game. They had 3 looks at 3 late in the game to try and tie it up. They could not get the job done. So the Saints a winner here tonight, 82-79. Saints shoot 44% from the field, 25 of 56, 12 of 26 from three-point land, 46% there, and 20 of 26 from the free throw line, 77%. Clayton State shoots 26 of 66 from the field, 39%, 25% from the three-point land, and 82% from the charity stripe. Winner here tonight, North Georgia, 82-79, a barn burner at Memorial Hall. On Saturday, it'll be Georgia College and State coming into town from Milledgeville, as North Georgia will cap off their regular season and head into the Peach Belt Conference Tournament. Big win here tonight for North Georgia. They improve to 15-11, 10-6 in conference play. For everybody on the North Georgia Saints Broadcast Network, I'm Rusty Brown saying so long, everybody. We'll see you on Saturday, Lady Saints and Saints basketball at 2 o'clock.